Well, look who made it to the workshop today. What's up, y'all? Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Emotional Workshop, your forever safe space to chill, feel, and heal. If you're new here, I'm Katera. I'm hella emotional, and I created this workshop for us to have a space to sit in our shadows, reflect on our thoughts, and come out on top, baby. What's up? Hey, everyone. Hello. Okay, we are in the last season Eve. Last season. That I said that wrong. We are in the last episode Eve. Okay, this is the episode before the last episode of this season. Our self-love journey, our self-help journey, our self-healing journey. We have been through it through the ringer with each other. Okay, and we're not done yet. We are not done yet. We are here for episode 9 of season 2, and we're about to get it cracking. So we're gonna go ahead, get all of my business, because this week was a doozy. It was a real doozy, okay? So let's go ahead and spin the block so y'all can get all up in it. Okay, guys, like I said, it was a doozy this week, and I can't be mad at nobody but myself, baby. I can't be mad at nobody but myself. Isn't that the worst? When something crazy happened to you and you're just like, damn, it's really my fault. That is the worst. So I've been here in Dallas for what, almost 2 years? What is it? It's 2023. It's 2 years. I reached 2 years this 4th of July. Yes. So I've been here for 2 years and I have yet to have Texas license plates, right? And you're just like, what? Why would you do that? Because like I said, y'all, I just be living my life the way that I want to live it. And don't judge me, judge your mama. I'm going to tell you that again. Don't worry about me, okay? So I was out here. I wasn't riding dirty the whole time, y'all. I was riding dirty for like only a year. The first year I was here, my tags were good. The second year, not so much. We ain't gonna talk about it. So I have a parking garage here in my apartments, and they just got to be so bougie where they have towing companies just perusing the parking lot and the parking garage to make sure that, number one, people who don't live here don't park there, to make sure everything's good, to make sure people's cars aren't just stationed there and they're like working on them. They got like missing parts and tires and stuff like that, to make sure it doesn't turn into a junkyard. They have patrol, right? And so I guess they just wanted to classify my car as a piece of junk, and they're just like, her right there. We need to we need to see what's up with her because something ain't right here. So I was riding on a Friday to the grocery store and just minding my business. And mind you, I have like a sticker on my car from when I used to work at GameStop. I had like a parking pass there. And I have like a car wash sticker when I got like this free membership for signing up at the end of the month for a car wash thing that I never took off because I'm not paying a membership, okay? I'm always getting the free shit in life. That's just how I'll be rolling. So those stickers are always on my car and I don't really notice anything about them. So I'm just driving or whatever and I'm not noticing anything. And then I'm almost at the grocery store and I look and I'm like, hold on, there's another sticker on my car. Like, where'd that come from? And so when I make it to the grocery store, I get out the car, I peel the sticker off, and it's one of those big burnt orange red warning stickers. And I'm like, yo, what's happening? What's happening? What is happening? That's all I can say at the moment. I'm just like confused. So I read it and it's like, your car, it's probably it's like July 30th or something, right? They're like, your car will be towed on or after August 6th for the reasons below. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I go down below and I see the little check boxes, and right there, a nice little check mark is right next to the box that says invalid tags. I said, oh God, they done got me. They done got me, y'all. This is how I be living. I'll be out here just thinking that I am untouchable and that everything's going to be okay. Because everything is going to be okay. But I just be trying to escape the system sometimes. And the system, you got with me. It ain't no big thing. We get up. We get right back up. It ain't nothing. So at this point I do start to panic though, because I'm like, yo, I gotta go get my tags. I ain't never switched tags to another state before. And I'm not going to act like I wasn't going to get my tags. I was going to get my tags, y'all. I just thought that you had to have a state ID in the current state that you're in order to get your tags. I could have swore I read that somewhere. I just swore up and down I read it somewhere. And when I went back to look, it didn't say that. And I'm like, well, where did I get that idea from? Because I have my appointment later in August to get my new ID, my Texas ID, right? I have that appointment set up, and I booked this appointment like 3-4 months ago. Like, that's how booked they are. Like, you got to get in line and set an appointment for months out to get a new ID. So I was like, well, I'm just going to have to wait to get my plates, right? So I don't know where I read that at or why I thought that was a thing, but it totally wasn't a thing. You don't need to have the state license to get your tags switched, which wouldn't make sense anyway, because they want you to switch your tags as soon as possible. So at this point, I start to panic, and luckily it's early on a Friday, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? What do I need to do? How can I make this right? Maybe if I can just go and get my emissions test done real quick, I can just run up to the county clerk people and get my tags. It ain't gonna be no big thing. And here it's way different than Nashville. In Nashville, you have to go to an emissions place. Like, we literally are saying, like, I'm going to emissions because it's a place that you have to go specifically for emissions, and they do it. But here you can go to any oil change place and get emissions. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's really convenient, because the way that we be sitting in line in Nashville trying to get through the emissions line, it'd be crazy. So it was nice that you could just go to any oil change place and get it. So I went to the little Take 5, and they're doing my test or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, I just hope it passes. I hope it passes so I can just go and get this and it'll be nothing, right? Wrong. They come back and they're like, it failed. I was like, it failed? I've never failed an emissions test. What do I do? So at this one, I'm just like panicking, because I'm like, I failed my emissions test. And he was like, yeah, well, when I went to check the brakes, I noticed that your check engine light was on. So I would have told you right off the bat before we even did the test. If I knew the light was on, I would have told you were going to fail. And I was like, great. And you know, anyone listening to this is probably like, well, duh, like, why wouldn't you knew that it wasn't going to pass. I really didn't know that. I really, for the longest, thought that I just had a glitch. I just thought I had a glitch. I just thought it was, because my check engine light didn't come on until my car was hauled from Nashville to Texas. So I was like, I felt like they had pulled a little something, and then it just, you know what I'm saying? Like it messed up something, but it wasn't nothing like that needed to be repaired. Like the light was eventually going to go off. You know, me, wishful thinking, being delusional. That's what happened, right? So I'm just over there like, all right. He was like, well, you're going to have to go to like your trusted mechanic, someone you trust, so they can fix that. And you're not going to pass emissions until they fix it. I was just like, I don't know anybody. Like, I don't know anyone here. I don't have a trusted mechanic. Shoot, even back home, I didn't have a trusted mechanic. So what do you do when you don't know anyone and you don't trust anyone? You go to Google and you look at the reviews, because Google's not going to lie. The people that go to these establishments, they're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you their experience. So I was looking and I found this little shop that had like 48 or like 48 reviews. It wasn't big, but they had like a 4.8 as well. And so I was like, okay, you know, they're small and it seems like everybody likes them. And you know, if you are a Black person, you know that when we look at the reviews, we're looking for people who are Black, because our experiences be different, right? So I'm looking through and I see a Black girl's on there. I said, oh, great. You know, she was like, I had a great time. They got me in and out. They helped me. I said, oh, I'm going. I'm sold. You ain't got to tell me. So I go up there and I'm like, hey, probably one of the worst customers ever, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. Can you help me understand? And I might be the best customer, because he was probably like, she don't know what she's talking about. I'm just going to upcharge her, right? Because you know how people be, right? But he seemed really nice. So it was a real like small, like family owned type place. And he was like, yeah, you need to get this thing changed. And I can do it, but it's going to take, the part's not going to come in until the morning. So I can do it tomorrow and have it done for you by tomorrow. And you had to leave your car here or whatever. And I said, okay, well, that's nice. You know, I thought I could get everything done today, but clearly not, because I wasn't expecting to have to do a repair. And that price shocked me, because luckily it was payday for me. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't be prepared to pay that. I had my credit card that I could use to pay it, but I just been paying on it for so long. And I was like, I just got to a good spot on this. And now I got to use it for this emergency. But I did this so that I could have it for emergencies. But good grief. So I'm going through all this, right? Gotta pay. I pay half then. He said I could pay the rest when I come back to get the car. So I do my thing. The next day comes, I drop my car off, I catch a Lyft back, which shout out to Lyft, because the way that I had a free ride was amazing, because I am a loyal Hilton's Honor girl. Okay. Whenever I travel, whenever I go anywhere, I book a Hilton hotel, and I have a lot of points with them. And so they were like, connect your Hilton's account with your Lyft account to use your credits or whatever. You can use your points as credits. So for my rides there and back, I paid literally nothing except for the tip out of my pocket. And that was nice. I was like, I just saved like $40 in rides. So thank you, universe, for working with me, because I was not expecting any of this. Okay. None of it. So I go up there, I get my car, he fixes it. It takes him all day, but he gets it done, and I appreciated him. I tipped him well. I said, thank you so much for getting this done for me, because I literally have a week. And if you couldn't get this done for me as quick as you did, I would have been SOL, right? So the next day comes, a Sunday. I gotta chill because nothing's open. Monday comes, I take the day off, because I'm like, it might take me a while to be in the tax office to get all of this switched over, and ain't no telling what's gonna pop up, right? So I head down there. I get in line, or I'm talking to the receptionist. She's like, you need this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, well, here's my insurance. She's like, it needs to be higher. Texas requires this minimum. I'm like, oh Lord. So I had to go through all that and get all that fixed. And then I finally get all that fixed. And that's like maybe an hour later. I go back into the office. I get my ticket. I sit down. I wait. They call my number. I go up there. And then the person's looking at all my documents. They're like, well, your registration, if it wasn't past a year of the expiration date, I could take it. But now, since it's like a year and a couple months past the expiration date, we're going to need the title. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, oh my God. Like, okay, one thing after another. First, it was emissions. Then it was having to get my car fixed. Oh yeah, by the way, I had to go to emissions like twice, and I had to do like a joyride around the city in order for the repair to catch up, so that the system could read that I got my car fixed. It was a whole thing. So I ended up taking a day trip to the flea market, which was actually kind of fun. But I still had to put all these miles on my car and run up the gas in order to do all of this. But anywho, after that, it was the insurance. Then it was this registration that I could not use any longer, and had to contact the people to get the title. So they were like, hey, we can send you the title over the email, but it might take you 24 to 72 hours to get it. I said, yo, 72 hours is the absolute max. Okay, because that's going to put me at Thursday. And if I can't get here on Friday, that's going to be a real issue, because they're trying to tow my car on Sunday. Okay. All because I wanted to be negligent towards the responsibilities I had to do, right? So here I am, just struggling. And I'm like, okay, I got to come back the next day. And I couldn't go back that Tuesday because they're closed on Tuesday. So I had to wait until Wednesday. And I went back on Wednesday, and I finally got it all done. But they still hit me with a hefty fee because they had to do the title, and I had to pay like an extra $100. And y'all, I was sick to my stomach, because then at this point I had to shift around what bill was going to get paid this week or this month because of this unexpected expense. That's all my fault. Okay. Because getting my car fixed, it was way too expensive. I don't even want to say the price. And then I under budgeted for a new tag because I thought I was paying, the renewal price, which I just misread that. I was just in a doozy, in a frenzy. I was all over the place, but I got it done. And that's how my week went. It was a mess. It was a mess. Overit.com. Over it. But, all in all, I made it. My car actually runs so nice. I can actually get up and go now. I said, well, look at that. I guess I did need my car fixed, huh? Most women with cars, that's how we be, okay? I don't want to put that on all women because some women really know cars. And I actually love cars. I just don't know the mechanic of them. I'm just like a vintage car type girl. I just like what I see. I like how it looks. Now, how it works, don't talk to me about that because I don't really care, okay? But yeah, you guys, that is my week in a nutshell. Just hope that, my week gets better because that damn near took me out. It almost took me out. Okay. So, anywho, we're going to go ahead and get to a word from the fam and get some good old inspiration in our system. Let's go. So, the quote we have today in a word from the fam is breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. Okay. And that is from our girl, Oprah. Oprah said it. Oprah in the house. Okay. So, yeah, breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. Okay. I hope I said that right the first time, but yeah, so just remind yourself that don't overthink everything. Just take a moment and be present. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the fellowship hour in the fellowship hall, y'all. Let's go ahead and work our way over there. So last week we talked about the journey of healing, right? And this week we're talking about the journey of growth. Everything is a journey, okay? And growth looks different in every different category. So you can be going through spiritual growth, physical growth, intellectual growth, financial growth, just all types of different growths, right? But of course, we're going to be talking about our self growth and how we can look at it in a fun and enlightening type of way. I thought of this little process and I thought it was so cute. It just makes sense on how I broke down this journey of growth, right? But before we get into this little concoction I've made, I just want you guys to remember that it does take time to reach different levels of growth and to achieve the type of growth that you're looking for in different areas. And it just looks different for everyone in every category. Even though it looks different in every category, it still follows the same type of menu. The recipe may change on some of the things, but the items stay the same. All right. So to me, I look at the journey of growth like a 5-course menu or meal, if you will. So let's think about what comes in a 5-course meal or a 5-course menu or whatever. So first you have your hors d'oeuvres, right? Then you have your appetizer. Then you have your salad. You have your main course, and then you have your dessert. That's 5 courses in your meal menu, however you want to say it. So you're probably thinking like, well, what this 5-course menu, meal, whatever, what does that have to do with the journey of growth? Like, what you talking about? How you gonna make this work? Just sit back, grab your pens and your paper, which I haven't said that all season except for the lab. I forgot to tell you guys that you need to have your pen and paper every time we start this episode so that you can get all these notes in. But if you didn't automatically pull it out, then are you serious? I don't know. I'm not going to say you're not, because I listen to some self-help podcasts and sometimes I just want to listen. I don't really want to take notes, and it's to each his own, but I do encourage you to take notes because we're in class. We're in a workshop. Okay. So let's break down the hors d'oeuvres, right? What does that mean when it comes to the journey of growth? So your hors d'oeuvres is your first introduction to your journey of growth, right? That's when you have your vision, your dreams, your desires and wants of a specific type of thing to grow in a specific area, right? That's where the feeling starts, where you have this desire, where it just kind of starts. And we think of it as an hors d'oeuvre because, when you're at a cocktail party or when you're at this place where you're going to have a 5-course meal, they start with the hors d'oeuvres just to get you ready, get you excited. Just to be like, okay, you're going to enjoy a lot of good things tonight, but this one right here is just it's a teaser. It's not even an appetizer. It's just a tease of what you can experience, right? And it's opening up your mind to what's possible, what really lights you up, what really is going to make you smile, because your tummy is going to smile when it gets that first little bite. And it's just like, oh, isn't this a delight, right? So then we have the appetizers. All right. The appetizers is when you are just kind of dipping and dabbling in all these different type of things. So think when you order appetizers or you're in this place where you're having a 5-course meal and they have appetizers, you're probably trying like 1 to 3 different things. You're like, oh, let me get a little piece of this, a little piece of that, a little piece of this over here, right? You're trying all these little things and you're kind of weighing out like, this one, I really like this, or I really like this, or, ooh, I don't really like that. And that's how it is in your growth journey. You're kind kind of exploring this vision and this desire and this thing that you want to grow. And you're looking at the different options that you have. You're like, okay, we have that. I could go that route. I could go this route. And you're just kind of like weighing them out, just kind of playing around, exploring, kind of seeing what really lights you up, right? So think of that as your appetizer. So then after you get done with your appetizers, you have your salad, right? And in your salad, it's normally like a palate cleanser. It's just like, okay, we're getting ready for something bigger and better. So I think of it as a palate cleanser. And when you're in this phase with the journey of growth, you are narrowing down your options. You're like, okay, look, I liked those 3 appetizers that I had, but I really like this one. So let me take that, clear all away the other jargon of everything else I was thinking of, and let me like try to explore more about this and see what it has to offer. Not doing a super deep dive, but just kind of now narrowing down your choices so that you can prepare to do a deep dive. But you're getting a little bit more information so that you can really see, is this where I really want to go? And it might be 2 things, but it's never going to be all of the appetizers you had. It's like you're narrowing it down between the 1 or 2 things, and you're like, okay, let me start at ground zero. What are the very basics of this thing that I'm trying to decide on, and do I like it? Does it fit with me? Does it resonate with me? Right? So right after that will be the main course. But before we get into the main course, I want to throw in the note that sometimes when you get to the main course, you might end up going back and forth between the appetizer and the main course sometimes, because you'll get to the main course and you'll get into it and you're like, actually, I don't really like this. I got deeper. I'm not really feeling it. But let me go back to the other appetizers I had and let me take them to the salad phase and see if I like those more, and then go down to the main course. But sometimes you might get to the main course and you got to go all the way back to the hors d'oeuvres because you're like, okay, none of this is working. Let me go all the way back to the drawing board and get that taste again, to get that spark. Is this the right spark? Is this the right vision for me? Do I want another vision? Is there something else that I feel more inclined to grow in rather than this one thing? And then I'll go back to the appetizers and, just start the process again. It's not as likely to go all the way back to the hors d'oeuvres because normally when you have that vision or desire or that feeling, it's normally pretty true to how you feel, but sometimes it does require you to go back. And when you go back, you might feel like, oh my God, I wasted so much time. Like, now, am I just wasting time? Do I even really know what I want? Is this what I want? Do I even want to keep doing the journey of growth? Is this for me? Right? And I don't want you to look at it that way, because you learn something along the way that you can use in the future. But sometimes starting over is the best thing to do. And sometimes going back to those other options is the best thing to do, because then you're looking at it from a different perspective and you're looking at it with a different lens, and you're probably able to see more value in it than you did before. So just keep that in mind, and don't forget that taking a step back or going back to the appetizers phase or the hors d'oeuvres phase or even the salad phase is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because you're still making progress and you've eliminated the things that aren't working and will not work for you. So now we get to the main course. Okay, the main course comes from the salad, and you narrowed down your options, and when you looked at them, you were like, this is it. This is the one I want to go deeper into. This is the one that I want to build, right? This is the one that I'm going to grow at. This is where the main journey is going to be. In the main course, you're taking a deeper dive. You're really exploring every aspect of this. How can you grow it? What are the resources that you need? What are the different steps I'm going to have to take within this main course? And this can take years, decades, or it might even take months. Like, who knows? It's really based on what you're trying to grow and what your timeline is for yourself, how much you work on it. But you have to stay dedicated to it. You have to find your motivation, and you have to be patient and balance out how you're working through this growth, because growth takes a long time. And we can think of it in a business term. We can think of it as going to school. We can think of it as our healing journey, or just our, therapy, whatever you're in or whatever you're working towards to grow. It takes time. I mean, we could even talk about growing your hair. Like, if you might have to do all these different regimens, and you might have looked at different methods in your appetizer phase, and then you narrowed it down in the salad phase. And now that you're here, you have to wait for that method to show the results, So you just have to take your time and be patient. But the main course is the main course. So it's going to take time, and it's not going to be as quick as those hors d'oeuvres came, or as quick as the appetizer came, or as quick as the salad was here. It's going to take time. Another thing I want to talk about in the main course is that you may have multiple 5-course meals inside of just the main course. And what I mean by that is, think about a painter, right? They have their hors d'oeuvres where they have this vision, this dream of something that they want to paint, right? Then they go to the appetizer phase where they're like, okay, I know I want to paint this thing, but do I want to do it in this way? Do I want to do it in that way? Or do I want to do it in this way, right? They decide, okay, I'm going to do it in a portrait way. Then they go to their salad phase and they're like, all right, what do I want to do as far as my subject? What's my subject going to be? I know that my dream was to paint something, or I have this vision of something that I want to paint. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to get there. What are my resources? What are my things? What are my inspirations? What are the things that I want to lean on as I'm going through this journey of growth? Okay, so then they get to the main course where they're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm painting. I know what my inspirations are and everything like that. But inside of this, I'm trying to figure out how I want to start it. You know, do I want to outline it with a pencil? Do I want to freestyle it with just paint? What do I want to do? That's starting over as like in the appetizer phase, going through your different modes and methods of mediums that you can use to get started, right? And then he might dibble back into another appetizer phase where it's like, okay, well, what scale? Do I want to do a black and white scale? Do I want to do, I guess a gray scale will be the same. I don't know, but I'm not a painter. But do I want to do graphite? Well, I'm painting, so do I want to do it in color? Do I want to do pastels? Do I want to do bright colors? Do I want to do muted colors? You know, just entertaining all these different things inside of the main course. Because we already know we're painting a picture. We know what we're painting. We know who's the inspiration. We don't know what medium we necessarily want to use. We know we're using painting, but we don't know if we want to use canvas or if we want to use whatever they be using, because I'm not a painter. I just know a little bits here and there. And we don't know how we want to get there. Do we want to sketch it? Do we want to freestyle it? We don't know what color we want to do, you know? So it's like, once you get into that main course, you're going to be faced with all of these other things that you're going to have to take yourself through another 5-course meal within the main course of the 5-course meal. You know, it's kind of like that picture in a picture in a picture method, or a mirror inside of a mirror inside of a mirror method. So whatever the technical name is, y'all can let me know. I don't know what it is, but y'all get what I'm saying, right? You just have to have multiple plans inside of one plan. And then when you've honed down on it and you've been working on this thing for years, months, weeks, whatever, how long it takes you, you finally get to the best part of the 5-course meal, and that is desserts, okay? Dessert can be many different ways. It can be really, really sweet because you're like, finally, sweet, sweet success. I made it. I have reached my goal and I grew through all of this. You know, there was so much growth done in this specific area in my life, and I'm so glad that I did this, because now I can offer so much more in whatever I'm growing in. And then it can also be bittersweet, because sometimes you're like, man, I don't want it to end. You know what I'm saying? Or it can be like you got to the finish line and then you realize that it really wasn't what you thought it would be, or it's not as enjoyable as you thought it would be. And now you're just kind of like, well, I mean, I'm glad I finished, but I don't really feel as full as I thought I would feel. But that sweetness of, I finished it, I'm glad I saw it through, it's still something to be said, because it's like having a blackberry pie. You know what I'm saying? It's bittersweet. The blackberry is very bitter, and then the rest of it is really sweet. And it's like both can be true at the same time. But that sweet success feeling is always going to trump that bitter feeling. Even if you feel like you kind of did it for nothing, or it just didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to, you still saw it through and you still grew in some kind of way. And I just have to make it real clear, before you go through a journey of growing anything, you must go through that journey of healing. So you listening to this episode, you need to go ahead and listen to that episode that I dropped before this one, the journey of healing, okay? Because that one definitely is like going to make sure that while you're growing and trying to grow other things in your life, that your past and your triggers and your traumas are not getting in the way of you progressing on your course of your 5-course meal, your 5-course menu. Okay. So I'm going to take you guys through my 5-course meal and menu that I did to get into the interior design field. All right. Even though y'all know I want to do a career change and everything like that, it still doesn't go without notice that I definitely followed this specific recipe or specific 5-course menu to get what I got, and it just fits perfectly. So first, of course, I was in the hors d'oeuvres. I was dabbling, and I had this vision that, I could be an interior designer. I really think that would be really cute. It would be cute to be an interior designer. I should, I was in the phase of like, I should do it. I just had the thought and had the vision, like, I can be an interior designer. That sounds cool, right? So then the appetizers came, and I was like, let's take this more serious. Let's look at schools, different pathways. I looked at, can I become an interior designer without going to school, being an entrepreneur of some sort, different schools and different programs that they had. I was exploring all of that and just really getting all the knowledge and research that I needed to make a real good, sound decision. So then I got in my salad phase because I was like, okay, I know I want to go to school for this, but it also took me a few years to get to the salad phase because I was going back and forth on different schools. I know I wanted to be at one school. Like I really wanted to go to HBCU, right? But the HBCU in my city, TSU, they did not offer interior design. And so I was like, okay, well, who does offer interior design? And so I looked and found a lot of schools, but the one that was like a public college and close to me was MTSU. So that's where I ended up going. I also was going back and forth because I had this mindset that you couldn't make money in interior design for some reason. Because I thought it was such like a creative job or something that people only do when they're already rich. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, well, I don't really want to do that because I'm not going to make no money. Like, why would I go do something that I can't make no money in, And that could be further from the truth. It's just a flat out lie, right? So that's an example of how your mindset can really be blocking everything that needs to come into your life, because just having that mindset of thinking that it wouldn't be possible and then getting into the field and being like, oh no, you actually need to have money to be in this field because like they making money. Okay. So that was holding me back for a while. And then I started to look on Indeed and look at what the jobs were offering. And I was like, oh, well, I had the wrong perception because I didn't know about corporate interior designers and like commercial interior design. I just always knew about residential, pretty little Martha Stewart type interior design. And then I started to understand about commercial interior design in my appetizer phase. And that's what led me to picking a school and then getting down to the nitty gritty, exploring that school and their options in the salad phase. So then I got to the main course, which is school, honey. I got into school. And at first I wasn't taking it serious because I was in all gen ed classes. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just waiting to get into the program. And then I finally got in the program and I ended up going back to the hors d'oeuvres phase. I was like, is this like what I really want to do? I don't know. I thought this was different and it's not really what I thought it was. So is this really what I want to do? And I told you guys that so many times that while I was in school, I just kept going back and forth. Like, is this something that I really want to do? Which I always look back like, I wish I would have listened to myself, but I learned a lot and I got a lot of experience. So I won't take it back or trade it for the world. So after I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay here. I'm just going to see it through. I dealt with a lot of like insecurities popping up and my confidence kind of being shattered because I just didn't feel prepared. And I felt like I am in a foreign land. I don't know nothing about none of this. And these people seem to know way more about this than I do. And I just feel so out of place, right? And especially being a minority, I just felt like, yo, I don't know if this is for me. And I'm sick of being the only one. Sick of being the only one that looks like me in a space. And so I just had a lot of imposter syndrome and just didn't know what I wanted to do. But as I went through that, I ended up going through an appetizer phase within my main course phase. And that was me going to figure out how I could research and study and really build my confidence in my knowledge. How could I build that knowledge so that I could feel like I belonged and feel like I was in the right space or that I knew what I was talking about. So I did that and I started to get good at it. I started to really understand the trajectory of what it took to be an interior designer. And I ended up landing an internship because I started to take it more seriously, So this is over a course of 4 years, y'all. This main course it is going to take a while, especially when you're trying to grow something. So after that, the appetizer phase really helped me get to a salad phase, another salad phase within that main course of honing down on the specific type of interior design I wanted to do. So I really zoned in on commercial interior design, and I was working with schools and stuff like that, and especially because with my internship. And then I finally finished school. I got back to my main course outside of the mini main course inside, mini 5-course meal inside of my main course, if you guys are still following. I finally got back out of that, and I went through my internship. I finished school, and that was a super, super sweet spot. It was a super sweet spot, but it wasn't the sweetest part because you go to school to land a job, right? So then I landed a job in the field, and that was my dessert. My dessert came. I was like, oh, I did it. I landed a good job doing interior design, and I am excited about it. So it was sweet until it wasn't, right? I loved it because I felt like I had accomplished something, and I was setting out to do exactly what my idea was in my growth journey towards being an interior designer. I was right where I wanted to be from the start, but when I got there, I was like, yo, this ain't it. It ain't it. And that's where the bittersweet came from, because it was like, okay, I'm glad that I accomplished something, but the bitter is coming in because I don't like the work that I'm doing. I don't really connect with the people that I'm working with, and I keep jumping from job to job because I just can't find that right fit. But it feels like I can't find the right fit because I don't like the field of work. I don't like the career path. So therefore I need to change the path, right? So with that being said, now I'm on a new journey of growth, you guys. Now I am starting a new 5-course meal in my life. And what is that? Like 3 years later, I'm starting a new path of growth, which, it happens. It does happen. I'm glad that I went through all of that because I got a lot of good skills from it. I grew a lot, and there's so much that I learned throughout this whole journey of growth that I'm going to be able to take with me through my next journey. When I first wrote this, I was in my appetizer phase of this new 5-course meal journey of growth, right? Now I'm in the salad / main course. Like, I'm really in the main course because I've kind of already solidified what I'm working on and what I want to put my all into and what I want to grow. So now I'm really in the main course. I'm just in the main course exploring another 5-course meal because I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about it. What does that look like for me? What are the things I need to bring in? What are the things that I need to cultivate in this main course in order for me to get to that dessert spot, right? So kudos to me, pat on the back. I'm in another journey of growth. It's definitely scary, okay, because I don't know where it's going to go, but I definitely know that I want this. Okay, I've already had my hors d'oeuvres phase way back when. My appetizer phase, I was just going back and forth like, okay, how do I want to bring this in? What do I want to do? Then I started to solidify, and now I'm here in the main course trying to make it happen and accepting the journey for what it is, accepting what will come out of it, and accepting that there will be many 5-course meals in between all of this because this is a long-term 5-course meal goal of growth, okay? And I know I'll get there, but it will take some time, and I'm willing to be patient, consistent, and motivated towards reaching this goal because I gotta feel it. Especially because I've seen it in my hors d'oeuvre phase, and that's what I want, okay? So I hope my story inspires you. I hope that makes sense, and you can look at your journey of growth as a 5-course meal as well and see how those different things make up the whole entire journey of growth and how you can continue to grow by using this method to look at your life in different sections and different phases so that it feels more digestible to you. It feels more palatable rather than trying to do everything at one time. All right. So yes, you guys, that has been the fellowship hour this week. It felt a little short compared to all the other ones I've been doing. This one felt short, but I'm gonna let you know right now. Next week, we'll talk about it in the outro, okay? We're gonna go ahead and take all this experience and this knowledge and marry it so that we can get some wisdom, y'all, in the lab. Let's go. All right, you guys. So number 1 in the lab, make sure you got your notebooks, your notepad, your notes app, whatever you got going in front of you to write these down. Do you have a new vision, dream, or desire you would like to grow? If so, what is it? Tell me what it is, okay? Number 2, have you taken steps to explore how you can reach this vision or or desire. So, in other words, have you dibbled and dabbled into that appetizer phase? Have you tried to see what your options are here, right? Number 3, what are the pros and cons about going through this new journey towards the growth of this vision and or desire? Okay. What is it? What does it look like? Write you a list, pros and cons, split it down the middle, and look at the good side and the bad side of you reaching this. Because there's always going to be duality, all right? And you just got to figure out if it's worth it or not for you. Number 4, name/list some things that will keep you consistent and dedicated to see this vision through. Kind of like what we did for the episode of meeting your goals and expectations. I think episode 6. Write you a list. What's going to help you stay dedicated? If you just want to take that list from there and put it on here, that works too. But just have those reminders to keep you on the course and to stay the course, because it's not a one and done type process, and it's going to take time. You got to be patient and you got to be willing to see it through all the ups and downs. All right. If you really want it, you'll do that. Okay. So I hope that helps expand your mind and helps you get to thinking. And without further ado, we're going to get into my favorite part of the show, and that is a moment. Hey y'all, thank you for joining me for a moment meditation. We're going to go ahead and get right on into it. If you have not been a part of a meditation with me before, I go through a method for about a minute. It's like a breathing technique. And then for the rest of the time, I let you just fall into your subconscious, okay? So the method that I go through is called the EAR method that I created. It stands for E, embrace. So you're going to embrace your thoughts while you're inhaling a breath. A is for accept. So you're going to hold your breath and accept the thoughts that have come in. And then R is for release. You're going to release your thoughts as you exhale the breath that we inhaled and held. Okay. So when you are breathing, I want you to remember to try to breathe from your diaphragm and your stomach area and not necessarily your chest area. Like, of course, we have to use our lungs and things of that nature, but you want to make sure that you're getting your deep breaths from your stomach. So when you inhale, your stomach expands. When you hold, of course, your stomach doesn't do anything. And then when you exhale, your stomach contracts back. Okay? Before we get started, I want to go ahead and clear the energy, clear your space. So I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. Hold it and release. Take a deep breath in. Hold it and release. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. All right. I want you to inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. One more time. Inhale and embrace. Hold and accept. Exhale and release. The rest of the time will be for you to dive into your subconscious, all right? All right, you guys, I hope you had a great meditation. Before I let you go and you link back up with other Katera, I want to just give you some tips real quick. Sometimes I get fidgety in my meditations and I can feel myself moving my fingers around, or I might want to check the time or something. Allow all of that to happen. Embrace that if that happens to you. Don't feel like you have to be, it's like just stone cold straight, no movement. Things will happen. Sometimes I laugh through my meditation. So if you caught me smirking, it's because just different thoughts come up in my head that make me laugh. So there's just different things that happen in your meditation. I just want you to know that whatever your meditation practice looks like, is perfect for you. It doesn't have to look like everyone else's. So if you felt like you were not that successful in this meditation because you didn't finish, or you were fidgety, or you were thinking about things that made you laugh, just know that you were 100% efficient and you did exactly what needed to be done because you grounded yourself so that you can be present throughout the rest of your day. Okay? So I will see you guys in the next clip. Toots. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys had a great time in the meditation and you really got to chill, relax, and release, okay? I, of course, want to say thank you for joining me on this season finale eve, okay? As we wrap up this season, I'm excited to see how you guys transform through this self-healing journey, this self-love journey, but I'll save all that for the final episode. I keep talking about this final episode because I just feel like it's such a good one. It is such a good one. It's something that we all talk about all the times, but I don't know how often we talk about it with ourselves. So we're gonna dibble and dabble into that. I'm so excited to see what you guys think about it, how it changes you, how it opens your eyes to your self-love, and it's gonna be a long one. So buckle in. Set you some time aside, and you definitely want to grab your notebooks for this because you need to be ready. So you got to get ready, okay? Anyways, if you want to keep up with me outside of the podcast, you can follow me on IG, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, which, YouTube is a podcast, but it is what it is. But you can find me at the Emotional Workshop, okay? If you want to watch this, you can watch it on Spotify or you can watch it on YouTube. Leave me a comment on YouTube if you would like to interact with me. And you can also send me a message on IG or leave a comment on IG. I love to hear from you guys. It's so nice to know that you guys are listening and that you're engaged. I really, really love that. So I will also be leaving polls and questions in the Spotify area. I still haven't figured out what I would call that. I guess it's just the page of the episode that you will see the poll on. You'll see it as big as day. So answer those polls. Let me know what you're thinking. And I just love to hear from you guys. So without further ado, I hope you guys do something super fulfilling this week and do something that makes you feel loved. And I hope that your week is fulfilling in general. All right. I will see you guys in the next session. Bye.